Welcome to the Year 8 strategy for subtraction. In this lesson I'm learning to solve subtraction problems with hundredths by changing the second number into a whole number. Let's start with this question here. 7.32 minus 4.95. So this is similar to the other subtraction questions that we've looked at. We're going to start by looking at the second number here, and that's the number we're wanting to change. And we're wanting to change it to the closest whole number. So I'm thinking to myself, what whole number is close to 4.95? Well, I know that 5 is close to 4.95. So to change 4.95 into 5, I've had to add 5 hundredths. And because I've made this side bigger by 5 hundredths, I'm going to have to make this number bigger by 5 hundredths. 7.32 plus 5 hundredths gives me 7.37. Now let's just stop there for a minute and we'll go down a little bit further and we'll work out why both of these sides are getting bigger. So here's my number line, and on my number line I'm going to have 7.32 and I'm going to have 4.95. And our aim is to find the distance between these two numbers. Now to make this question easier to answer, I changed my 4.95, I made it bigger. I made it bigger by 5 hundredths. Now that would make the gap here smaller unless I also made this number bigger by the same amount, so I need to make it bigger by 5 hundredths. And you can see that's what we've done up here. Both of those numbers have got bigger by 5 hundredths. Now that leaves me with this easy question to answer. I've got 7.37. All I have to do is take away 5 whole numbers, which means I'll be left with 2.37. Let's try another question. This time I've got 5.24 and I want to take away 1.12. So just like last time, I'm going to start by looking at my second number here, and I'm thinking to myself, what whole number is 1.12 close to? Well, I know it's close to 1 whole. So to change 1.12 into 1 whole, I'm going to have to subtract 0.12. So since I've subtracted 12 hundredths from this number, I'm going to have to do the same to this side. So this side is also getting smaller by 0.12. And I know that 5.24 minus 0.12 leaves me with 5.12. Let's have a look at what that looks like on a number line. There's my number line. I've got 5.24 and I've got 1.12, and remember I'm trying to find the distance between these two numbers. But to make this question easier to answer, I changed 1.12. I made it smaller by 0.12, which would make this gap larger. So what I have to do is make this number smaller by the same amount. So I need to make this number smaller by 0.12. And you can see that by doing that, I've kept the distance between the two numbers the same. And it's meant that I'm left with a nice easy question to answer. I've got 5.12. I have to take away 1 whole. That will leave me with 4.12. Let's have a think about the important things to remember from this lesson. Well, I'm trying to change this second number here to a whole number. In this example, I've gone down to the nearest whole number, but it doesn't matter if you need to go up to the nearest whole number. And then you need to remember that whatever you do to this number here, you have to do the same thing to this number here, because you're trying to keep the distance between the two numbers the same. So in this example, this number got smaller by 0.12, so this number also had to get smaller by 0.12. And when you've done that, you should be left with an easier question that looks like this. It's easier because this second number here will be made up of just whole numbers, no tenths and no hundredths. You can find the activity sheet that goes with this lesson in the Teacher Tools Addition and Subtraction book from the Whitebook collection.